Hello, 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 and welcome to a amazing session that we're about to take place. My name is Scott Picken, and what I'm about to share with you is literally going to change the way that you think about wealth forever. What are we looking at tonight? We're looking to protect and grow your wealth like the top 1% in a volatile world. It's the number one strategy to protect, diversify, and grow your wealth globally like the top 1%. Even if you're busy, uncertain, or stuck locally. But I want to start with something. I want to start with an exercise. I'd like you to close your eyes. Just close your eyes. And I basically want you to imagine that it's 10 years from now. You're not working because you have to. You're working because you want to. You've built a portfolio of globally diversified assets that send you income, whether you show up or not. You sleep well. You're free. Sound good, doesn't it? Now imagine the opposite. You're still trading time for money. You're still stressed about inflation, politics, interest rates, recessions, headlines. You're wondering if your pension, your plan, your property will be enough. Tonight is about shifting from that anxiety into a plan that works. In the next 90 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how the top 1% think differently about wealth and how you too can follow their blueprint without needing millions, a finance degree, or 40 hours a week. You're going to walk away with a proven framework, a personalized roadmap, and a shortcut to global investing, which has been built for busy professionals just like you. You see, the truth is the old economy is broken. 99% of people retire broke, dependent, or financially trapped. Why? Because they rely on one asset, one country, one currency. Let's break that cycle. Let's make tonight your transformation starting here. You know, this isn't a course. This is your personalized roadmap to financial freedom globally. We're going to help you protect your wealth, diversify globally, grow sustainably, and gain confidence and peace of mind. Now, if you would like a shortcut to the last 30 years that I've done this investing, where I've helped people invest $1.3 billion across 5 different continents and earn over $31 million, then you're in the right place. Sound good? Great. Strap yourself in. Now, I've got a good friend of mine that wants to say something to you. And so let me play a video for you here quickly. Let me get this up. Here we go.
Hello there, you magnificent radiant beings of light. I'm so sorry I'm not able to join you tonight with Scott Picken. Let me assure you, you're in for a treat. While you are watching this video, I am en route from beautiful London, baby. And I'm on my way to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia for the first time, which I'm very, very excited about. But I just wanted to welcome Scott because you guys, what I love about Scott is he's authentic, he's real, down to earth. You're gonna meet one of the most beautiful men I know, and I mean that sincerely. He's got a heart of gold, and he really, really cares about making a difference. And as you guys know, success is 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. And while in Mind Power we focus particularly on the psychology of success, you must have the mechanics. You need to have a system that helps you to produce success. And Scott has got an incredible system. He's helped generate $1.3 billion, and I mean that, he'll tell you about it, in terms of helping people to grow their wealth. And his goal is to help people to realize how to think and invest like the top 1% in the world. I'm in his system as well. It doesn't require much commitment. It's an easy system, and that's what I like. So I'm pretty confident you're going to enjoy being with Scott. I'll be thinking about you while I'm in the air. May the blue bird of happiness shit all over you. Don't forget to be awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the one and only, the incredible, the magnificent Scott Picken.
Robin is an amazing guy and a good friend. And yeah, so I just wanted to play that. And equally to the tribe that's come from Paul O'Mahony and Simon Zutsky, equally both good friends. It's wonderful to have you here tonight. And I got a lot to share. And, for those of you who know Robin and Paul and Simon, it's all about energy. It's all about showing up, because tonight truly can be your transformation. Now, what are you going to get tonight as we go through it? There's going to be a proven 6-part framework to investing like the top 1%. We're going to show you real-world case studies and portfolio strategies. You're going to get access to a global plan that most people never see. And you're going to get an offer to join us live inside the program. Because what the top 1% do is that they reduce their risk by 80%. And they increase their returns by a factor of 5. Sound good? Would you like that? Would you like to drop by your risk by 80% and increase your return by a factor of 5? Come on, just type in the chat box, hell yeah, if that's what you would like. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to help you literally build a personalized global investment plan where you stop relying on the old economy and you start investing like the top 1%. Who's this for? Well, it's for business owners, professionals, and investors who've already built capital, but who want to ensure that it grows and that they protect their freedom long term. What you need to be looking at is making sure that your money is working for you globally. And if you tick these boxes, then you're in the right place. This is for you. Who's it not for? Well, it's not for people who want overnight success. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not for people who won't follow through and take ownership. I'd like to think with Robin, Paul, and Simon's crew, we don't have that problem here tonight. And it's not for those that are stuck in the 99% and don't want to learn how the top 1% are doing it, how they think about it, and how they invest. And for those of you that are stuck in that 99%, just be aware that it might be consciously and it might even be subconsciously. Because our mission is to democratize access to global wealth. The wealthy have known for decades and centuries that you need to partner with the right people. You need access to the best opportunities. You need to get privileged or the best information. And you need to diversify your investments. For centuries, this has literally been the bastions. It's been reserved for the elite. But the beauty is tonight, it is now open to you. And if you're excited about that, then just type yes in the chat room. Because for me, I think it is extremely exciting that all of us can now participate just like the top 1%. And if that excites you, then you're in the right place. Because we call it the paid framework, where you can literally copy the top 1% and get the same results as the top 1%. Now, let's get practical. Tonight is not theory. You're going to leave here with clarity, a plan, and the next steps. And so if you stick with me for the next 90 minutes, I'm going to help you go global. No matter where you live in the world, I will help you go global, because I've helped people in 178 countries already achieve this. Now, I'm not going to give you financial advice. I've been doing this for 28 years, and I'm going to share with you what I've learned, what my skill sets are, and most importantly, the mistakes that I've made. I've just had the privilege of spending 9 days with Robert Kiyosaki. The author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm sure you've all remember this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I just got to spend 9 days with this gentleman. It was the most incredible experience because it wasn't just with him. There were other incredible investors and entrepreneurs from around the world. And why I do this is because I get in the room to get the latest information in the world. I invested $10,000 in myself because I find that when I invest in myself, I get there quicker, simpler, and safer. If you're the same, just literally type in the chat box, me too, if you agree with that. Like if you invest in yourself, do you find that you get results quicker, simpler, and safer? And the reason I did this was not only to go out and to find the latest information from the best investors in the world, but equally so that I could come here tonight and share it with you. So I'm literally just got home in the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to share with you what cost me $10,000, and you're going to get access to the best information from what the top 1% are doing around the world. So at that event, we got asked a question. What is your single biggest fear financially? Now, I remind you, there were entrepreneurs, there were professionals, there were business owners. If you want to write it down in the chat box, you can, but I'd like you to think about it. What is your single biggest fear financially. And what was interesting, it was the very first day of the very first session that they asked all of us this question. And they'd done global research all over the world, England, America, Australia, South Africa, China, India, etc. And when it came to business owners, professionals, and entrepreneurs, their single biggest fear was, what if I lose what I've worked so hard for? You know, as entrepreneurs and business owners and professionals, we're working harder now than we've ever worked in our lives. And yet the question is, what happens if we lose it? How do we actually protect it? Now, I've got a little video here that I wanted to share with you. And this, I personally asked Robert Kiyosaki, and I said, you know, Robert, you talk a lot about the investor quadrant. How does someone actually get into the investor quadrant? What does it mean to be in the investor quadrant? And most importantly, how can I get the results of the investors in the investor quadrant? This is what Robert had to say.
Had the most incredible couple of days with you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
And Scott, I am so proud of you. I mean, you took the risk, you came here. It's a great program.
Everyone asked the question around, how do you get into the investor mindset? And I asked you at breakfast, I said, what's the single most important thing to being an investor in the I quadrant? What would you say it is?
Laziness. Now, it's education and, you know, skill sets. Yeah. People don't have the skill sets to be an investor. They went to school to get a job, not got an investor.
And I mean, talk to us a little bit about that financial education. You talk about how that's so important for everybody.
Now, financial education is having money work for you.
Yeah.
So you don't work for money. So you're not slave to money, especially today, because the world is changing so fast. The United States is the biggest ghetto nation in history. Something's going to happen, good and bad. So if it's bad, you like it, but it's just amazing how much power our brains have.
Oh, no, it's incredible, though.
But we're not trained to use it, though.
Yeah. No, it's 100%. Well, listen, thank you very much. I really respect it, and thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for coming here. Man, I'm so proud of you.
Awesome. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it a lot. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
I mean, what a legend. I mean, he's had such an impact in my life, and I'm sure many of you, he's had an impact in your life as well. And it was truly one of the greatest gifts I've been given to be able to share the time with him. But if you heard what he said there, he said, you know, the single most important thing as an investor is to get the financial education, which is what you're doing here tonight. So I want you to pat yourself on the back because you're literally in the right place. And as Robin said, it's all about the mindset, but you need the mindset first, but then you need the application. And what I'm sharing with you tonight is how you can get the application. That's what Wealth Going Global is all about. But the second thing he said is that the market in the future, we can expect good and bad. And he's got some pretty onerous thoughts about where the world is going. But if you've got the financial education and you've implemented the right things, then actually you can get richer. And if that excites you, then you truly are in the right place in terms of that process. And this is one of the things that I'm deeply passionate about, is teaching you what the top 1% are doing so that you can literally get the shortcut and get the results. Some of the other fears that investors have is that, you know, firstly, they're losing money that they can't afford to lose. They don't have enough to retire or stay financially free, missing the boat on smart opportunities, trusting the wrong people, and not knowing who to turn to for honest, proven guidance. Now, be honest with me. How many of you resonate with one or all of these in terms of the process? Because these are the fears that business owners, investors, and entrepreneurs around the world are feeling. And so if you're feeling these fears, one of them or all of them, then literally you're in the right place, because these are global fears. And what we've done with Wealth Going Global is help you solve those, because you don't need to worry anymore about them. We literally understand that most investors are stuck because they're overexposed in one market. They have no clear passive income roadmap. They're unsure how to access global assets. But tonight we're going to change that. Tonight we are literally helping you go through a transformation. And it starts here and it starts today in terms of that process. As I said to you, this is not a course. It's a personalized roadmap to financial freedom globally. We're going to help you protect your wealth, diversify globally, grow sustainably, and gain confidence and peace of mind. And what we're going to invite you to do tonight is to join the Wealth Going Global family. It's time to invest like the top 1%. It's time to do the shortcut, cut through the noise, and to join the top 1%. And that's what we call Wealth Going Global. And tonight I'm going to share with you literally the roadmap so that you can achieve it. Now, let me give you a visual of this. 99% of people are on this side of the chasm. They are uncertain, they are anxious, they lack diversification, they've got no passive income, and they're financially stuck. And they spend their whole lives dreaming about joining the top 1%. And the top 1% are diversified, they've got passive income, they've got financial freedom, and they're a global citizen. My invitation for you tonight is to stop dreaming, because Wealth Going Global is a personalized map. It's literally a roadmap to get from the left-hand side with the 99% and to join the top 1%. It's a bridge between the 99% on this side to the top 1% on this side. This is Hell Island, and it's time to step over into the freedom of the top 1%, or what we call Heaven Island. Now, why is this so important? Because the world is changing, and whether you like it or not, you have to change and adapt too. The truth is, the old economy is broken, and so is the planning that goes with it. With the old economy, you literally went along here and you were educated. You went to school, you went to university. Then you got a job. Most of you got a job for life. And you worked and you saved for retirement. And then you retired at the age of 65, and the average age that you died was 75. Now, what most people hope for is that they don't outlive their money. You know, I've got a story. It's someone quite close to me personally. Now, he's an optometrist, you know, someone that does the glasses, a doctor. Now, he went and studied and he became a doctor, and now he's 82 years old. He did what he was always taught to do. He worked hard, he invested, he paid for his retirement, but now he's 82 and he's healthy. And last Christmas, I was sitting with him and he said to me, Scott, every single day I worry that I'm going to outlive my money. I'm 82, I'm healthy, and my money is running out. And I literally broke down and almost like internally just started weeping, because a man like that with so much integrity should not have to go through that. The problem is that the planning and what he implemented for his pension was built on the old world. It's old school and it's the old economy. Because the new economy is a life of continuous wealth, learning, earning, and growth. You basically have to engage, you have to invest, you have to grow and protect your wealth, and you have to recondition. If I take myself, at a young age, I went to university, I started learning about investing in residential property. I made mistakes. Then I helped thousands of other people invest in residential property. Then we had the crash in 2008, and I had to recondition. I was like, wow, this residential stuff doesn't work so well. Then I started doing commercial property. Then I started to realize, whoa, okay, hang on. There's other alternative assets. Then we had COVID. I had to recondition again, and I'm probably sitting somewhere here. And for the rest of my life, I'm sure I've got many more moments, many more lessons, many more reconditioning, many more times that I'm going to have to recalibrate. Because the question I've got for you, what about if you live to 100? Do you really want to work until you're 100? If you want to stop working for the rest of your life, then you literally need to make a decision today that you're going to take action, and that today will be the step or the journey towards your financial freedom. Because I've got an exercise for you, and we're going to do a little scorecard here. So let me bring this out for you quickly in terms of this process. Now, I've got the little scorecard behind me, and what I want you to do, I want you to take a piece of paper, and I literally want you to write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, you got me. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to score yourself for your family. How future-proofed are you, and how safe are you and your wealth for your family in the new economy? Now, it's really simple. You can see at the top here that if you resonate with something that's the old economy, then you give yourself a naught. And if you resonate with something that's the new economy, then you give yourself a 1. So let's go through this in terms of this process. The very first one, do you have a job for life, or do you have a life full of jobs? Now, let's say that you resonate with the old economy. Then you give yourself a 0. Next one, you have one income stream from from your job or your business or a property, or do you have multiple income streams? Again, if you are the old economy, you give yourself a 0. Does your money work for you, or do you work for money? Do you go to every single day, go to your job to work for money, or does your money actually work for you? And again, if you work for money, give yourself a 0. In the old economy, you retire at 65 and you hope you die before you run out of money. In the new economy, you build wealth that lasts 100 years. Again, if you don't have a plan to build wealth for 100 years, then you give yourself a 0. A defined pension plan is the old economy. The new economy, a self-funded financial freedom. Do you have self-funded financial freedom? Otherwise, you give yourself a 0. You do all your investments in local currencies. Maybe you're stuck in England or in South Africa or in Dubai, and all of your investments are in local currencies. Or do you invest in global currencies? Again, if you're in local currencies, you give yourself a 0. What about local investment? You have all your investments. It's proverbially that having all your eggs in one basket. Maybe you own 5 houses in South Africa. That's local investment. Or do you have diversified global assets? If you're local, you give yourself a 0. You're saving for retirement. You go to work, you put your money down on your pension, you trust the financial industry, you're saving for retirement. Or you're building passive income now, today. Literally money that comes in every single day. If you don't have money that's coming in, you give yourself a 0. The traditional financial advisors, so you just do what everyone else does. You go see a financial advisor, they tell you what to do, you give them your money, and they take care of it. You're probably disappointed, but the point is you do it anyway. Or do you go to a full family, like Spectrum, full family office? Literally, they look after the wealthiest people in the world, and they manage their money. Do you implement the strategies that they are implementing? If not, you give yourself a 0. Financial literacy is optional. In the old world, you went to school, you went to university, no one ever taught you about money. That's why when Robert Kiyosaki brought this book out, it was so revolutionary, because no one taught us how to invest and about money. But in the new world, financial education is essential. Now, maybe because you come from Paul O'Mahony and Simon Zuski and Robin Banks, maybe you give yourself a 1 there, because you understand that financial education is essential. You have to invest in yourself. The old economy, do you defer your dreams? Don't worry, one day when I'm 65, I'll travel and I'll see the world and I'll have fun with my grandkids. Or do you design your life today on your terms? If you don't design your life today on your terms, you give yourself a 0. Do you do it all on your own? Your whole life when it's come to investing has been doing it on your own. Or do you have a team and a community that supports you? Now, let's just say that, again, because you come from Simon or Paul or Robin, you give yourself a 1 there because you understand that it's important to be with a team and a community. So if you look at that scorecard, that person is going to get 2 out of 12. Are you with me? That is your future proofing. And my question to you is, what are you? Put it in the chat box. Let's be honest. Where do you sit? How future-proofed are you when it comes to investing? How safe is your wealth when it comes to the new world in terms of where the world is going? And one of the things that I think is really important is that the old world is where people saved and hoped. And the new world is where you invest and grow. The financial industry was built for the old economy. You need a new strategy. You need a new reality. And I want to share with you a little story. This is Michael. And Michael came to me in 2012. He had all his assets in one country. He was a successful businessman, but he worked hard for his money. And he came to me and he wanted to diversify overseas. He went to see different financial planners. He was tired of being put in cookie cutter solutions, and he wasn't happy. And so he came with us on a buyer's trip to America. And when I was sitting down with him, he said to me, Scott, I want to diversify. I want to build offshore income. And I said, great. What's your target? And he said, I don't know. I don't know how much passive income I even make at home. I've got no idea. I said, great. Let's work backwards. We got very clear on his why. His why was that his two daughters, who were teenagers at the time, and he lived in Durban, South Africa, and he wanted to have the freedom that they could go overseas and that they could actually study overseas and work overseas. And so we worked out what the number was. And I'm really, really grateful to tell you that 10 years later, his daughters have studied overseas in England. They now live overseas in England. And him and his wife have actually immigrated to England to live with him. Now, for me, that is what Wealth Going Global is all about. It's giving people the freedom to allow their children to be able to do what they want to do. And what Michael said, when I joined, it was the best money I ever spent, and it would never happen if I tried to do it myself. And so my invitation to you is take out a pen and literally write the word down, freedom, because I want you to have freedom in your life. And Wealth Going Global is the key to allow that freedom to take place, just like what happened for Michael. Now, the second thing you need to know is which option are you choosing? You got option one, which is where you go and see your traditional financial advisor. And to be honest, it's pretty flat in terms of the growth. You got inflation and you're sort of just beating inflation. How many of you, if you're honest, go along to your financial advisor, you look at your statements, and you're pretty disappointed year on year? That's option number one. Option number two, excuse me, is where you're dealing with the right information and the right partners. You're getting compound interest on top of compound interest. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about when it comes to this. Who here enjoys Monopoly? I know as a kid, I loved Monopoly. Now, who else liked Monopoly? Just type in there yes or no if you enjoyed Monopoly, basically. And what I think is so important here when it comes to Monopoly is when you were playing Monopoly, was it better to own greenhouses or red hotels? Just type the word green or red if you think that it's better to own greenhouses or red hotels. And I can see Sandy was the first one, and it was red, red, red. I can see lots of people. I got lots of Monopoly fans in the room. Well, let's get a little bit more complicated. What about 4 greenhouses or 1 red hotel? What's better, 4 greenhouses or 1 red hotel? Come on, let's see how many people see. Oh, and we've still got lots of people saying red. Excellent. It's red. It's commercial property. And what's so interesting is that even as children, when we were like 10 years old, we knew that to own commercial property would get us better results. And yet, as adults, we go out and buy houses. Why do we do that? It's because we don't have the information. We don't have the knowledge. We don't have the partners. We don't have the access. But what about if we could change that? What about if there was a platform that you could go into and invest? So this is a platform that we built. We've built it since 2013. We've invested $25 million in building this platform so that you could invest simply and safely like the top 1%. If you look here, you can go and look at your profile. You can have it in your own name in an offshore structure, et cetera, et cetera. You can go look at your entire portfolio and manage your portfolio all over the world. You can go look at your wallet. It's a digital wallet based out of Europe with European compliance, protecting your money. And all of your money is coming in to this digital wallet, whether it's from England, America, Australia, Europe. And right now on the platform, we've got an opportunity in Manhattan, New York. It's a 22% return. We've got a private equity opportunity in London, 25%. We got a debt deal in Austin, 9.42%. And we got an opportunity in Phoenix, Arizona for 16%. Now, interesting enough, Phoenix is one of the top 3 industrial commercial markets in America. The industrial commercial market is the #1 market in America. And there's $8 trillion because of Trump's Make America Great Again policies. There's $8 trillion of investment coming into America. So my question to you is, if you were going to invest like the top 1%, where would you want to invest? Do you want to invest in Manhattan? Do you want to invest in London? Do you want to invest in Austin? Or do you want to invest in Phoenix? Which one? Let me know quickly. Let's play real life Monopoly quickly. So I can see someone said the US. Okay, Manhattan was first, Austin was second. So let me come down here and I'll go down to Manhattan. So let me open this up. You can literally go down. You can read all about it. You can see the deal. You can watch the videos. You can see here that the deal is literally 1.5 kilometers from the New York Stock Exchange. You can see the risk. You can download all the documentation, etc. But now I decide I want to invest in this deal. I can do it from $10. I go continue. I digitally sign the agreement. And I go, I agree, and I go make investment. Boom. And you've just watched me invest in New York in literally under a minute. Now, someone else said that they would like me to invest in the UK. Great. So let's go back to the platform here. And I go to the marketplace and I go to the UK and I say, right, I want to invest in this deal. And I go $10 and I literally digitally sign the agreement and I go agree. Boom. And ladies and gentlemen, you have literally just seen me invest in New York and London in less than 1 or 2 minutes. You know, people say to me, I don't have the time. We've just done it in under a minute. I don't have the money. I've just shown you how you can start from $10. I don't have the knowledge. I'm showing you how you can literally invest alongside the top 1% and literally can get the same results as them. And so what does that mean for you? Well, let's do one more investment. Let's go invest in Phoenix. So I come along here and I say to myself, right, I want to invest, I don't know, let's just say $25,000. I've shown you already, you can do it from $10. And you can see here that you've got your total returns in green, the red. But I mean, if I invest $25,000, I'm going to make $52,000 in terms of this investment. So I decide I want to invest. I'm going to get started with this time $1,000. I'm going to continue. I'm going to digitally sign the agreement and I'm going to go agree and I'm going to make investment. Ladies and gentlemen, what you've just seen is true diversification because I've now invested in New York, Manhattan, America. I've invested in London and I've invested in Phoenix in a commercial industrial real estate deal. That there is 3 different deals, okay? It's 2 different countries. It's 2 different currencies. It's 3 different partners and it's 3 different timelines. That is what's called true diversification. And that's what the top 1% are doing. So nowadays you can buy in real life and you can invest in red hotels, red hotels, red hotels. Let me show you something when it comes to the stock market. The average investor over the last 25 years, according to JP Morgan, the average market has been 9.5%. But when an investor tries to do it on their own, they literally get 3.6%. That's what happens when people try and do it on their own. Let's look at the traditional financial industry. You go along to your financial advisor. Now, this graph looks a bit complicated, but at the bottom here, you got risk. So from left to right, that's low risk, high risk. And on the left-hand side, you got return, low return, high return. So you want to be in this top left corner where you're getting high return, low risk. The average person is going along to their financial advisor and they're getting 30% in bonds, 70% in stocks. They're in the highest risk, lowest return. And if you put just 20% of private equity, you go into the highest return, lowest risk. Who here would like high return, low risk? Just type yes in terms of that process. I know I certainly would. You know, when you look at private equity over 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years, it's outperformed the stock market. And so the question I have for you, are you taking option 1, the flat growth that the 99% around the world are getting? Or are you joining the top 1% where you are getting the compound growth? You are getting access to the better deals where you truly can invest alongside the top 1% and get the same results. Here was a dentist who decided to do Wealth Going Global, to come on this opportunity, to get the knowledge. And this was his experience in terms of his life.
I've been a dentist for 47 years. I've just retired. And so I'm learning my new career path, which is very exciting. There's some incredible people on board, there really are. So I'm learning a lot. And in terms of learning, it's showing me a completely new path that I didn't even know existed. So it's been exciting, really has, yeah. My financial advisor, who I think is very good, he's been with me 15 years and he's always looked after me. And I don't think he is a typical financial advisor because he runs his own portfolio. But it was typically that. I didn't understand what he was talking about when I went in there. He could say, well, I'm going to put this and do that and buy that and change this. I didn't know what he was doing. Now, all of a sudden, I understand what he's saying. I understand where we're going, and I can actually ask questions and say, no, I don't agree with that. Whereas before, I just listened and signed a paper. That was it. Now I feel that I'm in control. I really feel I'm in control of my financial future. And that gives me a lot of confidence going forward. And I'm trying to get my kids involved. My son-in-law wants to start a new business, and there's just so much now that I can impart my knowledge to them and feel confident with what I'm saying, not just saying it for the sake of saying it. I really feel I can help them on their journey to financial wealth now. That to me is probably one of the biggest spin-offs of joining you guys.
My wish for all of you is control. Write down the word control. Imagine being in financial control. Imagine knowing and being at the steering wheel of your life when it comes to your finances, because that's what Wealth Going Global gives you. The third thing I wanted to share with you is that we work with a family office. Now, again, family offices look after the wealthiest people in the world. This family office we work with has 65 families, and they manage over $1 billion. And what's interesting is that they've got 9 steps to generational wealth. Now, what is generational wealth? Well, that's where they help you protect your wealth. They help you grow your wealth. They help you literally build a legacy. They help you build generational wealth for your children and your children's children. I mean, who would like generational wealth? I know I certainly would. But what's interesting is that they go through 9 steps to help the average wealthy family get generational wealth. And when you look at the average financial planner, they are literally helping you with 1 out of the 9 steps. Now, my recommendation to you, screenshot this, take a picture. Next time you go and see your family office, if you've got a family office, fantastic. But when you go and see your financial advisor, say, right, I want all 9 of these steps. I want you to be able to implement this. Because rather than being stuck in a cookie cutter situation, what the top 1% do is they build a personalized wealth plan. They understand your wealth EQ. Who are you as a person? Why do you make the decisions that you make? What are the right investments for you as an individual, for you and your family? They help you build your portfolio so that you put the right assets from around the world that is the most robust to protect your wealth and make your money work for you. And then they put together a life AIM, an asset income model. Do you have an asset income model? Because you should. Right through to the year that you're 100. This is the new economy. This is how you should be doing it. This is what Wealth Going Global is all about, so that you have a plan for you and your family where you've got short-term planning, medium-term planning, and long-term planning that is taking into account the global economy, because it is time for your wealth to go global. And I'm showing you what you need. There was a gentleman just like you. He was literally in your shoes 2 years ago. He was confused. They had investments all over the place. They had different financial advisors, and they were frustrated. And he came along and he did Wealth Going Global. And he said, Scott, he's in the medical industry. He said, I didn't understand this investing language. But by coming and learning with you on Wealth Going Global, it's so liberating, because now I can understand what is going on and I can be in control of my future. Let's see what Niels had to say.
Definitely, Scott. I mean, it is so stressful not to know where to go, to have financial partners and advice. I mean, just the connections that you gave us with Calio and others, bring us in contact with these people to understand it. It makes a world of a difference. It takes a lot of stress off your shoulders. Actually a very positive experience, especially in the world now with all these uncertainties. But from a human side, I mean, this was a phenomenal experience. And it happened so fast for us. But we were ready for it, because we've been sitting on this for 1.5 years, just frustrated, don't know what to do. But I believe, going forward, it's going to work out. Whatever is going to happen on the financial side, I feel that we have proper partners in you and in the mastermind and with Calio it's a very positive experience. It's a positive, relaxing feel.
My wish for all of you is take out your pen and write down the word clarity. Just imagine that you'd done Wealth Going Global like Neil said, and you had that clarity. And as he said, that peace of mind. You know, I had the privilege of writing a book with Clem Sunter back in 2013. Now, I don't know if you know Clem Sunter. He's one of the top 5 scenario planners in the world. He actually helped with the democratic government here in South Africa in 1994. He was the chairman of Anglo Gold, and he's helped work at Harvard. He's also worked with the Chinese government. And what I've been passionate about all my life is understanding how one can diversify and how we can invest like the top 1%. And I took Clem Sunter's scenario planning. And again, I would recommend, you know, you go and look him up. This is his latest book, Thinking the Future. I took his scenario planning and I built a 4-dimensional model. And he was so impressed that he actually wrote the foreword for my book and contributed chapters 4 and 5 in terms of that process. You know, over the years, I've invested so much money in myself. I paid $50,000 to spend time with Tony Robbins, Keith Cunningham, who's literally the original father of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Dr. Dolph DeRoos, who was the very first property book I read, Real Estate Riches, Dr. John DeMartini, and all of his philosophies around wealth, George Ross, who was he basically helped the president. He was I don't know what you call it, but the assistant to the president in America. Richard Branson, I spent $40,000 with Richard Branson on Necker Island. You can actually see the pictures up here with me and Richard on Necker Island. Yanni Mouton, one of the famous investors from South Africa, or Jim Rogers, the gentleman that retired at 37, a billionaire, and actually worked with George Ross in terms of that process. So, but the one that I like and look at the most and respect the most at the moment is a guy called Ray Dalio. And he said, the single most important component to financial success is, what do you think it is? Type in the chat box. What is the single most important component to financial success? Come on. There we are. Well done. It's diversification. You have to diversify across assets, within assets, across markets and currencies, and across time. And what's really interesting is that when Tony Robbins did this book here, so Tony Robbins wrote this book here, and it came out in 2010, and he literally went and looked at 50 of the wealthiest people in the world. He was so pissed off that 10 million Americans had gone bankrupt in the global financial crisis. And he went to Ray Dalio and he said, give me your secret formula. And Ray Dalio said, nope, I'm not going to give you my secret formula. And he said, dude, you're 75 years old. Come on, it's time to share. And so he did. And this is his formula. You need 15 uncorrelated bets in an attractive array of assets that don't move in tandem. That will reduce your risk by 80% and increase your risk-return ratio by a factor of 5. Now, I know for most of you, that sounds like gobbledygook, and it's really hard to understand. And when you do Wealth Going Global, I'll go into detail with this in a lot more detail, because this is what the top 1% do. But in simple terms, what he is saying is you need 15 quality assets that don't move in tandem. That is all he is saying. You need 15 quality assets that do not move in tandem. If you do that, you'll reduce your risk by 80% and you'll increase your risk-return ratio by a factor of 5. Sound good? Let's watch a quick TED Talk with him where he was talking, what do you and I do as normal people with the economy and all of the challenges in the global economy at the moment?
So what the individual investor needs to do is know how to diversify well. So the word that I would know how to diversify well and in a balanced way, to diversify it in asset classes, to diversify it in countries, to diversify it in currencies, to know how to diversify that well so that you have wealth diversification is important. Do not think that cash is a safe investment. Cash is almost always the worst investment. So you have to think about that. You should think a little bit unconventionally. Diversify well, be humble, don't market time, and be conscious of the dangers of cash.
So what did he say here? You need to know how to diversify in assets, countries, and currencies. Knowing how to diversify your wealth is the most important thing. And this is coming from a man that manages $160 billion. And for 40 years, the average return that he's got is 21%. Now, I'm sure that you would like, and just type in the chat box there, 21%. If you would like 21% a year on average for 40 years in US dollars. And it's interesting because people are like, yep, I want to be able to do that. Well, the problem is you need $100 million normally to invest with Ray Dalio. But now we are democratizing access. We are helping you invest like the top 1%. And that's what Wealth Going Global is all about. We can literally copy him. And all you need to do is get 15 quality assets that don't move in tandem. And that is what we built this program for. We built it to help you literally get the same results as the top 1%. We call it Wealth Going Global because I am passionate and our team is passionate about democratizing access. This was a video that I did with Clem Sunter, which I think is so important.
You're providing that access to allow ordinary people to make the kind of decisions that, obviously very rich people are making because they have a continual discussion with their advisor.
What did he say there? You're helping people do what really rich people are doing and get a plan. So Wealth Going Global, you literally get a personalized wealth plan. You get an investor strategy sheet that helps you know what countries to invest in, what currencies to invest in, what assets to invest in. And literally everything is put, a personalized, globally diversified investor strategy sheet, all in one place. And if that sounds good, just type in the chat box, WGG. If you would like to have a personalized plan, if you would literally like to transform from where the 99% are to where the top 1% are, because I remind you, that's what Wealth Going Global is. It's a personalized roadmap. It's a bridge to help you move from where the 99% are, uncertain, anxious, lack of diversification, no passive income, financially stuck. And Wealth Going Global helps you step over. It gives you a personalized roadmap, a bridge to the top 1%, where you become diversified, you get passive income, you get financial freedom, and you become a global citizen. Now, I know some of you will be like, yeah, that sounds too good to be true. But what about Cynthia? She was a divorced lady, a mom of 3. She's a teacher. She's based out of Italy. And this is what she had to say from her experience. And if you like what Cynthia's saying, just type in there WGG, because Wealth Going Global can be your key to the freedom that Cynthia has experienced.
I'm living in a foreign country. I can't go back into my old career, which was China media, because I'm living in Italy. I had 3 kids to feed. I'd left my husband. And I was like, where's my skill set? So I was actually at the stage of like, just how do you put food on the table? And it was the first time it hit me that I was working for money, selling my time for my hours for time, and that my money wasn't working for me. And I was in that frozen position of like, what do I do with it? Like, I need this money to work for me because I'm over here scrambling to find a job and to put food on the table for the kids. I was really at that paralyzed, what do I do? What do I invest in? I was at that age where I felt like I don't have another, ride it out 20 years and the stock market always rebounds. I don't have another 20 years to ride it out. What are your needs? What's your financial situation? And I pulled up that matured fund that I had and said, I need to invest this, but I can't invest it for the long term. Here are my needs. I have immediate goals. I have 3 children that have just gone off to college. So I suddenly have immediate financial goals that I'm not going to be able to meet if I keep just relying on my income or selling time for money. And they listened. They asked really smart, relevant questions I wouldn't have thought of, but they were particular to me. And I didn't feel like I was being put into a box of you're this type of investor, or you're this type of investor, or you're this type, And it wasn't just the like, are you high risk? Are you low risk? It was really they really tried to understand my needs. And within 24 hours, they had a proposal to me. But here's what we're going to do to solve your immediate problem. And within 1 month, I had income coming in from an investment from them, which just liberated me. I mean, it was just the buffer I needed to not panic about money anymore, and to make the rest of the decisions slowly and, from a different mindset.
So my wish for you is to be like Marina and, literally write down 30 days, because in 30 days from now, you can have a personalized financial plan. You can be understanding what's going on. You can be well on your way to earning globally diversified passive income. And if that sounds good, then just type in the chat box WGG, because it truly can become a reality for you. Many people ask the question, do you want to be financially free? And it's often seen as a dirty word. I mean, you're not even allowed to use that if you're doing Facebook advertising. But I want to share with you a real story. A couple of weeks ago, a lady called Marina. I do one-on-one coaching for my top clients. And I was sitting with Marina, and her and I were sitting down. And she came to me and said, Scott, the most amazing thing happened. I went and sat down with the family office this last week, and they told me that I was financially free. And she said it was just the most extraordinary words to actually hear, because she had worked all her life and she was working hard for money and trying to make money and hustling and, what everyone's trying to do. And the family office sat her down and they said, look, we've looked at your plan and now your assets are working for you. Your assets are making money for you, and they cover your lifestyle, and you are financially free. Because to be financially free, let me just stop sharing my screen here. To be financially free, you have to have assets, and your assets have to pay you an income, and that income has to be higher than your costs. And if that income is higher than your costs, then you too are financially free. And so my question is not when do you want to retire, but the question is, when do you want to be financially free? Because financial freedom is truly something that you can achieve. It's not going to fall from heaven. It's not a lottery ticket. You have to have a plan. And the one thing I think is that you will blink. It's 2025 now, and you will blink, and it'll be 2035. If you don't have a plan, you literally need to start immediately. Otherwise, you're going to spend the rest of your life working for money. And my invitation to you is draw a line in the sand, a big line in the sand, and step over it and say, today I'm going to make my money work for me. I'm going to create a plan so that I too can be financially free. And if you don't step over that line, you need to literally accept that you're probably going to work until you die. And so you get to decide, are you going to step over that line and make that commitment just like Marina did, or are you not? And my invitation to you is Wealth Going Global is literally the bridge that can help you invest like the top 1% and get the same results as other people. And that's why I want you to write down financial freedom, because I know it's possible. I've helped so many people achieve it, because my passion and my purpose is to help everyone invest like the top 1%, to help you invest like the top 1%. Now, I want to share my story just quickly with you so you can understand where and why it comes from, because it all starts with this book. I told you how important Robert Kiyosaki was in my life. Well, back in 2001, my mom and dad gave me this book, and they gave a little note on the inside. And this book literally said to me, Dear Scott, we hope you make your fortune, but more importantly, we hope you have good health, many friends, and lots of happiness. Now, the reason they gave that to me was I was in the employee quadrant, and, I was deeply, deeply upset. I'd gone and got a degree, I got it cum laude, and I moved to London, and my very first job was a laborer on a construction site, and I was pouring concrete, and I really hated what I was doing, and I was so pissed off because I'd gone and worked hard at school, I'd gone to university, and now I was a laborer. And what was interesting is I looked at my father, because my father had done what you were all taught to do, what I was taught to do: go to school, go to university, get a great degree, get a great job, work hard, invest, trust the financial industry, and don't worry, one day you'll retire well at 65. Well, in my case, that was bullshit. My father died at 59, broke, and I was disgusted. I literally went out and did the research. And you know what I found? 99% of people at the age of 65 will either be dead, broke, reliant on the government, or financially trapped. And when some people say to me, yeah, but Scott, I'm financially independent. According to the financial industry, it literally means that you earn 25% less than your last paycheck. That's just like the optometrist. You are financially trapped. And so everyone, the 99%, are literally dead, broke, reliant on the government, or financially trapped. And only the 1% are protecting their wealth, diversifying, growing, financial freedom, and global citizenship. And I made it my mission in life, not only to do it for myself, but to help others do it. I did my first property project when I was 13 years old. My first property development when I was 22. My first London property when I was 24. And I moved at 25. I resigned and I started my own company. And I moved from the employee quadrant to the self-employed. Now, this is generally where the doctors are and the accountants and the lawyers and the small business owners. I helped thousands of people buy houses in South Africa or apartments. I helped hundreds in London. I helped hundreds in Australia, and I helped hundreds in America. And then I moved from the small business to the big business, the B quadrant. But whenever I do that, whenever I've got a problem, I invest in myself. So again, this book, Real Estate Riches from Dr. Dolph DeRoos, was the first property book I'd read. So I paid $8,000 back in 2011 to go and fly and spend a week with Dr. Dolph DeRoos so that I could learn about the American property market. And what I realized was whether it was London, America, Australia, South Africa, or anywhere in the world, the 99% were stuck. They were stuck in residential houses or apartments. They couldn't get into commercial property. They couldn't get into international property. And that didn't even take into account the tax, the structuring, and the compliance. I mean, here's a real life example. Back in 2008, 2009, we had the global financial crisis, and there was a significant opportunity in London. I had the opportunity to buy 48 units, and I went out to my 2,500 investors, and I literally said, I don't care what happens to market values. This represents a real opportunity. We were buying it at 40% discount. It was already tenanted, already furnished. This was in Wimbledon in London, you know, the place where they play the tennis. But I needed 10 million pounds. I couldn't get my investors to think like the top 1%. And I didn't have a platform to help them come together with strategic partnerships. And so we failed. We didn't raise the capital. Do you know that if we had raised 10 million pounds today, that would be worth 30 million pounds, and we would have earned 4.5 million pounds in positive cash flow income. That hurt. That really, really pissed me off. And again, when I got a problem, I invested $50,000 in myself, and I went and spent a week with Tony Robbins to figure out how to solve this problem. In that week, I had the privilege of going into business with Tony Robbins. Not many people can say that around the world. I have literally partnered with Tony Robbins, and I learned that the single and safest and fastest way to get results is to partner with someone. And that's why I talk about partnering with the top 1%. In 2014, we did our first commercial property. It was 6 buildings, $16 million in Atlanta, America, with 82 high net worth investors. And these were the returns. We owned it for 5 years. We got an 8% cash on cash and a 15% IRR, a total return of 15% in dollars. Now, how many of you would like to get a return of 15% in US dollars? Because if you would like to, then literally just type in there WGG, because WGG is the way to make that happen. We've now done it in America. We've done it in England. We've done it in Europe. We've done it in Australia. We've done it in South Africa. We've helped people in 178 countries invest $1.3 billion, and we paid out $31 million in dividends, distributions, and exits. And if that money is not in your wallet, then I want to help you be part of the next $31 million. When you look at Wealth Migrate's results over the last 10 years, we've got an average return in US dollars of about 14%. Our family office, which looks at all the different asset classes, has got a return over the last 10 years of about 14%. And I interviewed them on what was important when looking after your money and making your money work for you. And this is what they had to say.
This doesn't change, guys. asset allocation, and this is not all of the asset classes we work with, but asset allocation is going to account for 85% of your return and is the fundamental building blocks of asset management and a financial plan that's going to, produce income or anything. But Anthony's going to talk to this, and this will give you very specific kind of views around the returns, the averages, and where we think the value lies.
So what did they say there? 85% of your long-term returns comes down to your portfolio construction. And you need to be looking at all of the best assets around the world. Now, my question to you is, are you trying to do it on your own? And if so, give yourself a 0. Remember back to that scorecard? Give yourself a 0. Put in the chat box. If you're trying to do it on your own, put a 0 in the chat box. Or do you have a team? And if you're doing, and you have a team that is doing it with you, for you, then put a 1. Because come on, it's time for some mutual self-reflection. Because if you're doing it all on your own, then you're behaving like the 99%. And you need to give yourself a big fat 0. If you're doing it with a team, if you've got someone like a family office that's helping you, then you give yourself a 1. Because that's what you need in the new economy to succeed. I realized that I moved from the B quadrant, the business owner quadrant, which you're still working for money and hustling, to the investor quadrant, where I was making money work for me. And it literally happened earlier this year. I was in London and I went to the tallest tower in London, and it's got the biggest penthouse in Europe. And that day I went down the elevator and I was going to the tube station to pick up my investors. And literally across the road, I noticed a construction site, and blow me down, that exact same company that I used to work for 24 years ago was pouring concrete. If I hadn't have read this book by Rich Dad Poor Dad, if I hadn't taken a risk and stepped out of that employee quadrant, stepped out of that comfort zone, I would probably still be pouring concrete in London to this day. But not that day. That day, I took my investors and I went back up the lift of the tallest tower in London to the largest penthouse in Europe. And I was sitting with 20 other investors negotiating to buy a piece of that building. Isn't that cool? Now, truly, that is what it feels like to make your money work for you. And my invitation is that each and every one of you come and join me. Come and join me on this journey. Because in the investor quadrant, it's about making your money work for you. You know, I went from laboring on a building site to investing on 5 continents. And now I want to show you how you can do exactly the same. Because you either have a plan or you literally are someone else's plan. You don't need millions to start. You can start with what you have this month. You know, Wealth Going Global is literally your get out of jail free card. You know, we all enjoy Monopoly. It can be your get out of jail free card. You're not too old. Warren Buffett literally made more money between 80 to 90 than he did in the rest of his whole life. The problem is, you went to school to get a job. Now you need financial education to become an investor. And why is this so important? Because literally, as Warren Buffett said, and he's arguably the greatest investor on the planet, he says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you are going to work until you die. And I hope for your sake, you're not going to have to work for the next until you're 100. Because today's entire session is going to show you how to make money while you sleep. Now, I had the privilege of speaking on stage with Robert Kiyosaki and sharing with him my book and thanking him for the massive impact that his book had had on my life. And when that happened, he personally called me over. This was actually the picture where it happened. And he invited me to his inner circle, to his top investors around the world. Now, I invested $10,000. I told you this right up front, because I thought that there's no better way to invest in myself than to spend 9 days with Robert Kiyosaki and other incredible investors. Proximity is power. You know, at the end of the day, Jim Rohn says, you're only as good as the top 5 people that you hang around with. Who's in your circle? Are you running with eagles or are you walking around with chickens? I invested this $10,000 so that I could go and learn from the best in the world, and I could come home and I could share it with you so that you got access to this information. I met with Robert Kiyosaki. I met with this gentleman, Peter Schiff. Now, he called the crash back in 2008. And by the way, He flew in on his private jet and stayed on this boat. It was an investor summit on a boat in the Caribbean, in the Bahamas, for literally 9 days. And he said, be very, very careful what's going to happen in the world economy. He sees a big correction coming in the Trump term in the next 3 years. And the single most important thing that you should be looking at is diversification. I also met with Mike Maloney George Gammon. Mike Maloney first. Mike Maloney literally has studied money for the last 2,500 years. And he was speaking about gold and silver and Bitcoin and the future of the American reserve currency. George Gammon, he's got an amazing company called Rebel Capitalist. He was talking about the future of America compared to China and tariffs and interest rates and where they're all going. Steve Streetman, he's got an amazing book here on cryptocurrency and real estate. What is the future of cryptocurrency and real estate? And then Ken McElroy, he's actually one of the Rich Dad advisors, and he teaches people about how to invest in real estate. But he himself is investing $1 billion in real estate just this year. Now, when you do Wealth Going Global, I am literally going to share all of the secrets that I have found from the best investors in the world that are actually doing it when we go through each one of these asset classes. But the single biggest lesson that they taught was diversification equals financial success. And so the question I have for you again, are you doing it on your own, where you got to give yourself a big zero, or are you doing what I do, which is go and partner and put yourself in the environment with the top 1% so that you can have a team and they can do it with you, for you. And if you're doing that, you give yourself a 1. If you're choosing to come on the journey with us at Wealth Going Global tonight, put a 1 literally in the chat box, because it's, if you're a 1, then you're part of the new economy. You're part of the future. You're going to make money work for you. And financial freedom is something that is going to happen, because I'm going to teach you how to diversify like the top 1%. And people say, how? It's simple. It's just like technology. I mean, just think about it. 100 years ago, the only people that had a private driver were the people that could afford it. You know, maybe even 10 years ago, the people that had a private driver. In London, as an example, if you went to a meeting and you were one of the wealthiest top 1%, you would have a private driver. His name would be Jeeves, probably. And he'd come and pick you up. He'd take you to the meeting. You go to the meeting, you come out, you jump back in your car, and then take you home. But for the rest of us, we all had to catch the tube or the taxi or the buses, the 99%. Well, nowadays, we got technology. We got smartphones. And the best thing is ever since we've had smartphones, every single one of us has access to a private driver. What has technology done? It's cut out the costs. It's cut out the middleman. And it's dramatically increased the trust, the transparency, and the accessibility. And the good news for you is that is exactly what technology is doing when it comes to investing. You can invest now, diversification 5.0, just like the top 1% using technology. You can diversify across countries, currencies, assets, partners, and time. And it's all about building globally diversified passive income. You know, in the last couple of years, we've invested on 5 continents, 5 different currencies, 40 different assets, 15 different partners, and across time. And when I look at the wealthiest investors around the world, there are 4 elements to passive income and to your freedom. The first is you need access to the right partners. Second, you need access to the right deals. Third, you need the right information. And fourth, you need diversification. This is what we call the paid framework. And ultimately, it'll help you get paid a diversified passive income of $1,000 or more. And that's what Wealth Going Global is all about. If you've been nodding all along, if you're finally seeing a way out of the wealth trap, then listen closely, because what I'm about to share is really, really important. Wealth Going Global is not a course. It's the get out of jail free card that you've been looking for. It's how to escape from the 99% and to start investing like the top 1%. And tonight, I'm going to give you an exact roadmap at a fraction of the price that I paid to learn it. You really got a choice. You can continue to make your money work for you, hustle and try and survive through every week and every month and every year, or You can decide to make your money work for you. Now, I want to make this real for you. I want to show you how someone can go from the 99% who is stuck, anxious, and reactive to investing like the top 1% who are calm, strategic, and free. It comes down to 6 shifts. I call these the 6 modules of Wealth Going Global. There are 6 modules plus the bonuses, and it literally starts on the 22nd of July. And if you're interested, type WGG into the chat box, because I'm inviting you to come on a journey with me so that you truly can start investing like the top 1%. The first module is the power of clarity. Most people never build wealth because they're chasing tactics without a reason. What you're going to get in this module is a crystal clear plan on what is your freedom number, not someone else's. We're also going to help you. How much passive income do you really need? Define your freedom number. By when? And then you're going to look at what matters most: protection, growth, or peace of mind. Because without clarity, wealth feels overwhelming. We help you simplify it. You'll walk away with a clear why. And for most people, this alone is worth the entire price of the program alone. Module 2 is countries. Next, we're going to explore where the smart money is going. Where do you actually invest? With our global property system and with Clem Sunter's scenario planning, we'll help you avoid the overvalued markets, identify the top performing regions, and pick 3 to 5 countries that you should focus on based on risk, return, and timing. No more guessing, no more hype, just data-driven decisions. And if this sounds good to you, WGG in the chat box. Then we're going to move on to currencies. Most people underestimate currency risk. In this module, we're going to break down which currencies are stable and which are declining. How do you protect your buying power? The rand is devaluing. How do you protect against that? How do you forecast currency trends? Why your income and your investments should not be tied to one government or one country. You're going to complete the Global Wealth Index, and you're going to walk away with 3 to 5 currencies that will protect and grow your wealth. Should you be investing in dollars, pounds, euros, the Swiss franc, Bitcoin, gold? We'll help you make the right decisions. Module number 4 is assets. Now that you know where and in what currency, it's time to choose the right assets. In this module, we'll break down the 15 core global asset classes: residential, commercial, and alternative investments. We'll teach you the 8 golden rules of asset selection, and we're going to teach you how to think like a family office: long-term, stable, and diversified. You're going to create a short list of 15 quality assets across real estate, private equity, debt, infrastructure, and more. And I remind you, Ray Dalio said, all you need is 15 quality assets. And we'll show you. If you don't know right now how to get 15, that's like most people. We'll show you how to copy Ray Dalio so that you can get the same results. Module 5 is about the partners. Now, here's the truth. Wealthy people don't do everything themselves. You know, people literally think that they've got to go out and buy property as an example. But who you invest with matters much more than what you actually invest in. And so in this module, we're going to teach you how to use strategic partnerships. We're going to give you our global due diligence framework. We're going to give you access to our partner checklists, white papers, and interviews. And we're going to give you insights on who to trust and who you should avoid. Now, I'm sure most of you, including me, have lost money. This module will teach you how to find people that you can trust and that will help you make your money work for you. Because you either build your own network or you can plug into ours. Module 6 is about time. Most financial plans are literally 30 pages of fluff from financial advisors. But in this, we copy what the top 1%. And I remind you, 85% of your total return is going to come down to your plan. In this module, it's about portfolio design for your different life stages. It's how to build your income now and have a long growth term plan. It's about compounding all the way through. We're going to cover the asset timing cycles, geographic time arbitrage, and long-term versus short-term risk. Ours is a one-pager investor strategy sheet that shows you your freedom number, your diversified plan, and which assets, countries, currencies, and timelines to get there. Simple, visual, and executable. Now, if that sounds good, literally type WGG into the chat room. And finally, we've got a bonus module. We bring it all together with smart investing. How do you automate and scale and protect your plan? In this module, we're going to tie together technology, tax structures, digital access, and family planning. We're going to teach you the tech and the tools that the top investors use. We're going to show you how to track, manage, and automate your global portfolio. And we're going to show you what are they using when it comes to AI and fintech so that you can use technology to enhance. Like I said to you, I've got a smart watch, I've got a smartphone, I've got a smart laptop, a smart fridge, a smart TV. But are you using technology to do smart investing so that you can do it simply and safely and you can scale? That's what this module is all about. And if you like that, literally WGG into the chat room. So this transformation is what you'll experience. By the end of the 6 modules, you're going to walk away with a personalized roadmap and a wealth strategy, clarity on what to do and in what order, the knowledge and the frameworks of how the top 1% build and protect wealth, and a wealth plan that you can act on immediately without overwhelm or wasted time. Now, who here feels that this plan is a plan that you wish you had 10 years ago? Just drop yes in the chat room if you are seeing that having a plan like this could truly change your life. Now, I know that we all wish we could go back 10 years ago and be here and go, I wish I met Scott today. Well, to be honest, I've been presenting with Simon since 2005 and Robin for definitely more than a decade, and Paul I've known since 2019. But the point is, we can't go back 10 years. So just type yes if today you want to have a plan because you believe that this can truly change your life. Well, what's exciting is that would it be helpful for me to show you how Wealth Going Global works, what's included, what it costs, and how to get started? I'm literally going to walk you through step by step. Just type yes in the chat if you want me to show you. I mean, I don't need to do it. I've already got it. My money's already working for me. I'm already a global citizen. But if you'd like me to share with you what Going Global is all about, Wealth Going Global is all about, just type yes in the chat room. So let me share with you what others have paid for this. You know, when the book came out, it was $30. When we were doing buyer's trips more than 10 years ago, people would spend $5,000 10 years ago to literally come to America, to England, to Australia. They'd take weeks or months out of their lives to be able to go overseas and to find good assets. To do due diligence on deals, us and our partners pay over $250,000 in terms of looking at deals. And even our mastermind is upward from $6,000 right up to $24,000. But here's what most people do. They spend years trying to figure it out themselves. They delay their decisions because they're overwhelmed. They get stuck in local markets, one currency, one advisor, and they hope that it all works out. Does that sound like you? Well, the wealthy do it differently. The wealthy buy time. They buy guidance. And that's what Wealth Going Global is going to give you. It's going to condense time and it's going to give you that guidance. Because what I'm super excited to share with you is that you're going to get access to the best information that I learned at the Investor Summit. Now, just 2 weeks ago, I invested $10,000 to get the latest information on how to invest around the world like the top 1% from the top 1% in America. And I want to give it to you for a fraction of the price. Because at Wealth Going Global, these are the modules that you're going to get. Module 1 is the clarity. It's all about understanding the why. Do you know when you've got the why, it'll give you the fuel to get the result? How many of you want the result? The value of that module alone is $997. What about countries? Where do you invest? Do you invest in South Africa, India, Dubai, America, Australia? Who knows? Where should I invest? I will show you how, using data, you can choose the top 5 countries in the world to invest, worth $997. What about currency? Should it be British pounds, the Swiss franc, dollar, euro? People are confused. Bitcoin. I bring in my partner here, James Painter, that specializes in currencies, both fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies. And he will help you choose what are the top 5 currencies to invest in, worth $997. What about assets? Ray Dalio says we need 15 quality assets. We're going to help you understand and choose 15 of the top assets around the world based on data. That is worth $997. And then partnership. I know none of you like losing money. I've lost money. Imagine having a module and a framework where you could literally go out and you know how to find the right partners so that you could have partners that look after your money and make your money work for you. This helps you invest globally with confidence. And finally, you bring it all together with a plan. I mean, there's nothing more important in life than a plan. I mean, how many of you go out in a new city and you don't know where you're going? If you don't have a plan or a map, you're literally going to get lost. And that's why this is a personalized roadmap to help you get the results that you want, to help you get to the financial freedom that you want. It's worth $997. And then the final module, bringing it all together with technology, AI, fintech, and helping you do it safely and simply. That is $997. If you take the whole lot and you bring it together, it's worth just short of $7,000. Now, I've got a question for you. This program has been put together, and you're going to get access to all of these 6 modules, plus the bonus module. It's starting now on the 22nd of July. This is not something coming down the line. You need to make a decision. This year, am I going to make a decision today that this year I am going to start investing like the top 1%? Because the question I've got, would you invest $7,000 in yourself if it would help you achieve your freedom goal? Literally, would it be worth it to you? Think about it. Type yes in the chat box if it would be worth it to you. Would you invest $7,000 today if you knew that it would get you to your freedom goal? Yes. Right. What about if all it did was provide you a way to protect your wealth that you've already created? Would it be worth $7,000? I mean, you've worked so hard for your money. If you could protect the money you have, would it be worth $7,000 to you? What about if all it did was save you a decade? I don't know about you. I'm 48 years old. I don't want to wait another 10 years to be able to get the information. If you could save a decade, would it be worth $7,000 to you? And what about if all it did was provide you with a globally diversified passive income and it gave you peace of mind? Would it be worth $7,000 to you? And if it would, just type yes or yes in the chat room, because I know that everyone would love to sleep well at night with peace of mind. And if all it gave you was peace of mind, would it be worth $7,000 to you? Now, the good news for you is that I'm not going to charge you $6,979. I'm not even going to charge you $997. This is what you would normally pay around the world. But I'm so passionate about democratized action that today, and today only, I'm going to give you a significant discount. Now, put it in the chat room if you would like a discount. Just say yes or hell yeah, because I want to put this into perspective for you. You would pay $997 to $2,000 for a typical program like this. Some of our live immersions cost over $5,000 to spend time with me and our team. Our mastermind costs $6,000 to $24,000 per year. My private coaching is $1,000 an hour. And I just spent $10,000 literally going out to the Investor Summit where I gathered all the intellectual property that I'm going to be sharing it with you. Now, you wouldn't have to pay $5,000. You wouldn't even have to pay $997. I'm super, super excited to be able to democratize access for all of you. And for $497, you can make an investment in yourself today. You can literally choose to step from the 99% and take action and join the top 1%. You can get your personalized roadmap with 6 weeks of live training with me, you're going to get access to the tools, personalized strategies, and coaching. And the best part is you're going to have a clear roadmap to build and protect your wealth like the top 1%. If that sounds good to you and you're still here, I know that you're serious. But now, today is the time to act. Let's start your journey today. The best time was 10 years ago. The next best time is now. Let's get that plan in place. Let's start now. I want to invite you to become part of the Wealth Going Global family. You know, anyone can do this. Beginners can do this. And I'm going to show you how. If this sounds good, let's start your journey. Join me now and literally let's start building borderless wealth. All you got to do is go to this link, wealthgoingglobal.com/join. I want to put this in perspective for you. $497. If you divide that by 365 days, that's going to cost you $1.36 per day. $1.36 per day. I guarantee you that if you live anywhere in the world, you would spend $1.36 on coffee per day. If you're in South Africa, that's 24 Rand a day. I guarantee you spend 24 Rand today on something frivolous. But imagine if you invested 24 Rand or $1.36 in your future. Where would you be 10 years from now if you decided and you acted to leave the 99% and to join the top 1%? Would $1.36 or 24 Rand be worth it for you in 10 years' time when you truly had joined the top 1%? You had protected your wealth. You had grown your portfolio. You had reached your financial freedom number. And most importantly, you were investing like the top 1% and you were getting the results of the top 1%. Would it be worth it to you? Santi, it is 6 weeks. It's a 6-week investment in yourself to truly change your life and to change and to leave, because all of us are part of the 99%. And it's time to step into the top 1%. And you know, the beauty is we've got a satisfaction guarantee. You can literally, if you do each one of the 6 steps and you're not satisfied at the end, we will give you your money back. Because I know that there's some of you that are still thinking, this feels overwhelming. I'm not a numbers person. I've waited too long. But just know this, every single successful investor that I've worked with once thought that. But what changed everything? They made a decision to stop guessing, to stop delaying, and to commit to building the future they wanted. They stopped making excuses. They stopped using things like, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the knowledge. And they got resourceful and they acted. They made a decision that their future was important enough to them to make an investment in themselves and to act. Because do you know why this works? It's not a course, it's a plan. It's not theory, it's execution. It's not fluff, it's frameworks. And this is so important to understand because it's been designed for action, results, and wealth creation. I'm not interested in get-rich-quick schemes, but I am interested in metamorphizing and changing people's lives. What does metamorphize mean? It basically means that you're currently stuck in the 99%. You're in the old economy, literally investing locally, exposed and at risk. And now you decide, you change like a caterpillar changes into a butterfly, and you become like the top 1%, and you get what the top 1% are getting, and you fly away to your freedom. And that is my wish for all of you in terms of that process. You know, the future cost of your inaction is you stay in that 99% and you stay strapped in one economy. You watch inflation eat away at your returns and you let fear delay your freedom. And my wish for you is that you do not play in that game, because your future is with Wealth Going Global. If you typed in there WGG, then you need to find a way to join us, because I want you to be able to think like a global citizen. I want you to invest like the top 1%. I want to secure your family's future and I want to buy time, protect your wealth, and create freedom. My wish for you is that each and every one of you has this in your life. Now, Abdul, it was the auditor of the Auditor General. He's a South African, so he audits the Auditor General here in South Africa. He's a chartered accountant. It's actually amazing how many chartered accountants have done this course and how much they like it. We've had everyone from teachers, plumbers, farmers, doctors, accountants, business owners, entrepreneurs, professionals, corporate executives. But what I wish for you is watch this short little video from Abdul, because if you have all your money tied in one country, it is time to become a global citizen. And as he said, you can go and figure out how to do it all yourself, or you literally can copy, because we're giving it to you in Wealth Going Global on a platter. And also listen to what he says about doing it in teams. Remember, if you're trying to do it on your own, you need to give yourself a big fat naught. If you're doing it in a team, then you give yourself a 1. Let's see what Abdul had to say.
And I'm a living example of that. In my little life journey from opening up my own auditing practice, the firm today audits the Auditor General of South Africa in terms of doing, pre-issuance reviews, etc.
So Abdul, let me ask a question to you in terms of it. So you've been very, very successful in property in your country, but you went and decided to sign up.
Scott, like I said to you at the beginning, I have this wealth. It's all localized. I have no exposure anywhere else on earth. Okay, so the catchy phrase from your side was going global, or diversified income going global. Now that appealed to me. In other words, yes, I may be rich in this country. What happens if I'm outside? There's all types of restrictions in terms of the transfer of my wealth, my assets, wherever I may be on earth. So that appealed to me, and that really opened an opportunity or a process for me in terms of engaging in diversifying my wealth. And I must say, although I have the brains to think that out, why must I do that? Yeah, you're giving it to us on a platter. So we follow that process, and yes, we engage, and yes, we will get exposed. We have obviously since did do an investment again in property. Property is the economics, I understand. Now, one of the things you alerted us or reminded myself is that if you do things in teams, it becomes easier. Collective wisdom is better than your own limited and parochial type of ideas. So that's also something I quite enjoyed. But if you don't have that, maybe we'll never get to success.
Yeah.
Surely it won't happen next week, but as long as it happens, I think you're on the right road. And that's the path I've chosen to take. And thanks to you, Scott. And it's never too late. The only time when you're late is when you're late. You're dead.
Yeah.
Up until then, you have a purpose on this earth, perform it.
So my wish for all of you is take out your pen and write down teams, because like I showed you in the new economy and what the top 1% do is it's all about teams. And my wish for you is you give yourself a 1 there. You know, Joyce, you asked a question and you said, will it be able to participate from Canada? Yes, 100% you'll be able to participate from Canada. Marge asked, does it include access to the platform? Yes, Marge, it includes access to the platform. Peter asked, when does it start? It starts on the 22nd of July. We have a live kickoff call on the 22nd. It runs for 6 weeks with lifetime access, and all sessions are recorded with weekly coaching. So in terms of making that, in terms of how long is the course? Well, Santi, it's 6 weeks. Can it be paid off in installments? It's not advised, because I find when people make a commitment, a financial commitment, when they pay attention. But I'll share with you later how you can pay it in installments if you really have to. Is the course 6 weeks full day? No, it's about 90 minutes a week. So it's an investment of 90 minutes a week. where you invest in yourself. And my strong recommendation is, if you do that for 6 weeks, you will set yourself up for success. If you can't find a way to be able to do it, then, because you don't have time, then this is why you need it literally more than ever in terms of that process. And Nolene says, I'm going to find the money for the course. I love your resourcefulness. I should be the one needed to invest the funds. How quick and easy is that? What costs are involved? So in terms of using our platform, it's really quick and easy, and we'll show you how, and there's very minimal costs. Yes, the UK is open. Will this be done in the evenings? Sonia, we do them in depending on what time zone. So we take and optimize the time zone. But even if you can't make it, they are recorded, and we've got live sessions in terms of the process. And how long are the calls? 90 minutes in terms of that process. Okay, now why is this important? This offer is available in this pre-launch window. The live bonus literally starts next week on the 22nd, and there's only limited seats. I have limited it to 100 people so that I can give you my personal attention. For those that are ready to go, you literally need to go to the link, wealthgoingglobal.com/join, and sign up. And I can see that Kelly has kindly put that in the chat room. And you can see here in my chat, you can go through, you can watch a little video from me, you can see the modules, etc. But all you got to do is fill in your details here and go next to be able to join. That is how simple it is for you to take action and to step into your future of joining the top 1%. Now, what have our other clients got to say? You can go to Trustpilot, you can go to YouTube, and you can see the hundreds of reviews from people all over the world, ages, literally, we've had the youngest person was 13 years old. The oldest person has been 85 years old. We've had people from all over the world do this program, be it England, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Dubai, Zambia, Swaziland, Lesotho, Saudi Arabia, all over Europe, Ireland, etc., etc., etc. And I believe there are reasons why hundreds of business owners and professionals have already said yes. We've had everyone from school teachers to multi-millionaires go through this. And if you have capital and you have a desire to make that capital work for you, then this is your path. This is not a beginner theory course. This is an advanced framework for professionals and business owners who want to invest like the top 1%. So my question is, are you still with me? Because if you're still with me, just type WGG into the chat box, because I want to help you. Tonight is the time. Tonight is the night to make that decision. I've helped tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. I've done these presentations, and I find sometimes that people sit on the fence. The challenge is, this is your window to invest in yourself, not just money, but clarity, control, and community. Where will you be 12 months from now if you don't have a plan? How many of you have got to the end of each year and gone, I need to diversify. I need to protect my wealth. I really want to start getting passive income. And another year goes by and you blink and you set it up as a New Year's resolution. And another year you get to the end of the year, anxious, frustrated. What is the cost for you of waiting? What is the cost of not taking action over the last year, over the last 5 years, over the last 10 years? What is the cost to you and your family and your future? What if $497 literally unlocks $1 million worth of value to you and your family? Because every month that you delay, you're losing compounded returns. You have a risk of bad local policy that erodes your wealth, and you get stuck in financial guesswork. I'm sure that you're tired of lying there at night worrying. Stop having the financial guesswork and start getting a plan. For $497, it's less than one flight, one mistake, or one bad advisor. But it can give you a global roadmap for life. Imagine the peace of mind of having a global roadmap for life. And if you literally invest $12,000, the return on $497, this is for the financially minded people, over 1 year will be 77%, or roughly in today's money, you'll make back $385. Over 5 years, it'll be 2,195%, or roughly $10,900. Now, I've got a question for you. Would you go to a casino and invest $497 if you knew in today's money it would give you $10,912 back? I know for a fact you would. Well, Wealth Going Global, with the right information and the right partners, that's the return on investment you are making by investing in yourself. Over 10 years, it's 9,661%, or $85,000. And over 30 years, which is what you should be looking at for your children and your children's children, it will equate to just short of 150,000%, or roughly $743,000. Now, for you and your family, are you willing to risk not investing $497 today if over the next 30 years it's going to equate to you $743,000? That is the pain of not getting the right information, the right partners, and investing like the top 1%. And that's on a paltry $12,000. Imagine what it would be if it was more. That's my invitation. Wealth Going Global is the way to get access. Now, I want you to get results. So a couple of the bonuses that I'm going to chuck in. The first one is the Wealth Discovery Call. This is where you're going to sit with our team, and they're literally going to ask you, where do you want to be? Where are you? What has stopped you from getting from A to B? And how do you get from A to B as quickly as possible? It's literally going to help you unlock what is blocking you. It's worth $197. Bonus number 2 is coaching and accountability. Do you know that according to Harvard, you're going to be 400% better off if you have a coach? And you know what the good news is? I personally am going to be coaching you live. Now, I told you already, my rate is $1,000 per hour. And for 6 weeks, I'm be coaching you live. That alone is worth $6,000. It literally makes Wealth Going Global an absolute no-brainer. And why do I do it? Because I am personally vested to help you get a result and to invest like the top 1%. Bonus number 3 is we give you access to all the calculators so that you can go away and do the numbers and ultimately make the right decisions for you and your family. That alone, $197. Bonus number 4, the cheat sheets. I don't know about you, when I was at school and university, I don't want to read reams of paper. I want cheat sheets, quick, simple things on deal risk, asset terminology, diversification, and many more. That is worth $997. The total value of the course is worth, double. You're literally getting more than double the value just in the cheat sheets. And bonus number 5, Clem Sunter, it's important to know what his latest scenarios, flags, and probabilities are. And again, I will give you access. And for $750, that's what I literally paid Clem Sunter to get the latest information. I'm going to give it to you for free. I'm going to chuck it in as a bonus. So if you look at all those bonuses, you get the Wealth Discovery, which will literally give you that clarity. You've got the coaching and accountability, which, most people need a bit of a push to be able to get results. It'll help you get the results. You'll get the calculator so that you can do the maths yourself. You'll get the cheat sheets so that you've got, quick if you've got short on time. And then you've got Clem Sunter. You bring it all together, it's worth $15,000 of value. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, an absolute no-brainer. I've tried to make this and allow you to become a global citizen a no-brainer because you're getting $15,000 of value, but you're paying $497. Now, you know that I went to the Investor Summit, and you can see me sitting there right in the front. I was always one of those students that likes to sit in the front. I invested $10,000 in myself to go on this course, and I'm going to share all of that with you for free. Because as part of Wealth Going Global, you're going to get access to all of that knowledge. You know what's really interesting is that when I was on that course, there were 40 different seminars. I went on every single seminar, every single one of them, and I took notes, ferocious notes. I also had my iPad's over there, where I take loads of notes on my iPad and I recorded all the sessions. And the best part is I have all 40 sessions recorded. If you sign up tonight with Wealth Going Global, I'm going to chuck in as a bonus. I mean, it's crazy. My team's going to hate me for doing this, but I'm going to chuck in. If you sign up tonight, I'll include all my notes and my cheat sheets and the recordings from the $10,000 Investor Summit that I've just attended. You literally can't get access to this. It's exclusive content that you can't find anywhere else. 9 days of insights from the world's best investors, but it's only for fast action takers. And if you're a business owner and you literally want to change to the investor mindset, then what I've done is, because I've just spent 9 days with Robert Kiyosaki, for those that decide today to sign up, if you literally go to that link, wealthgoingglobal.com/join, I am going to, and my team's going to hate me. I'm sorry about this team right up front. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to not only give you my notes, I'm going to give you access to all of my cheat sheets, plus the recording. We call it our VIP vault. It's very exclusive. But I'm also going to chuck in a free training, because I've just spent all of that time with Robert Kiyosaki. And the single most important thing that he teaches in this book is how to get to the investor quadrant. And so next Saturday, I'm going to do a morning session where I'm going to teach you what you need to know. What are the mindset shifts that you need to move from the employee quadrant to the investor quadrant? From the small business owner quadrant, which is generally where you're an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, a small business owner, to the investor quadrant. Or even if you're in the business owner segment and you're hustling and you've got a big business, but you've got most of your money tied up in your business, I'm going to teach you how to move to the investor quadrant, because I've had the privilege of doing it and I've helped hundreds of other people do it. And I've just had the time with Robert Kiyosaki. And so if you sign up tonight, I'm literally going to give you a free ticket to that workshop. That alone is worth a couple of $1,000s. And I'm doing it because I want you to succeed. As Robin Banks will say, it's all about the mindset. Well, I want to start off by giving you the mindset. I want to give you access to all of the knowledge from the greatest investors around the world. And then most importantly, you're going to join Wealth Going Global, and I'm going to give you a personalized roadmap to implement it, to take the theory, to put it in a plan, and to get results. Now, if that sounds good, go to wealthgoingglobal.com/join and come on the journey with us. Because who is Wealth Going Global for? It's if you want your money to work for you while you're sleeping. You're done with analysis paralysis. You want to work with the top 1% now. You want to take action, have a plan, and get results. You want to value, and you value global access and expert guidance. You understand that you can't do it all on your own. It's time to join the top 1% and to get that global access and that expert guidance. And so I got a question for you. I want you to zoom out 10 years. We started tonight by closing our eyes and zooming into the future 10 years. And I want you to do the same now. I want you to zoom out 10 years from now. And I want you to look back on today. So imagine zooming out and you look back on today. Was today a day that you made excuses? I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the knowledge. I'm not sure. And so you did nothing. And 10 years from now, you're lying in your bed, you're frustrated, you're anxious, you're working for money, you're hustling, you're worried about your retirement and your pension and if your property is going to look after you. Or do you look back on today and it's a day you took ownership? You built your wealth GPS. You literally joined a global investor journey. Just imagine knowing exactly where to invest, having global exposure and peace of mind, and making your money work for you while you sleep. Let's build that global roadmap together. Let's stop dreaming about it. Let's stop imagining. Let's take action and make it happen. You know, I was on a call just this morning with one of my private coaching clients, Angie, and she literally has this in her life right now. And it's such a wonderful thing to see people go on this journey and to make it a reality for them and themselves. And so that's why I invite you to come on this journey, to literally, and I look forward to seeing you inside Wealth Going Global. To finish off, I want to share 5 or 6 myths that stand in your way. Because there's still some people that'll be sitting on the fence. I'm surprised because truly, this is your gift. This is your ticket to join the top 1%. But for those of you sitting on the fence with a bit of doubt, here are some of the myths that stand in your way. Global investing is only for the wealthy. Well, not true. I've shown you tonight already how you can literally get started from $10. Investing in foreign markets is too risky. Again, in my book, I've shown people how you can go out and get access to the best information and to get the right decisions of where to invest. We've done it in 5 different continents. And if we've done it so long and got so many results, then we too can help you achieve it. It's too difficult to invest in foreign markets. Not the truth. I've shown you. You need the right partners, access to the right deals, you need the right information, and you need diversification. And if you do that, that is how you get paid a diversified passive income of $1,000 or more. Global investing is not necessary. Well, if you invested all your money in American property in 2008 and it crashed, you'd be feeling like a class clown. There's no one country. England's got all of its challenges at the moment with the Labour government and all the problems that they're bringing in for the landlords. You can't have all your money tied up in one country. It's like having all your eggs in one basket. I don't know how. Well, I've helped people in 178 countries, facilitated $1.3 billion and paid out over $31 million in different distributions and dividends. And this is how you do it. The right partners, access to the right deals, the right information, and diversification. And Wealth Going Global has literally been built. It is the framework. It is the personalized roadmap to teach you so that you too can implement. I don't have the time. I get this all the time from busy business owners and corporate executive professionals. What's interesting is that we've condensed decades into literally hours. That's why I deal with people all the time. They say to me, Scott, I don't have the time. I say to them, 10 years from now, if you didn't work on your business, it would fail. If you didn't work on your health, it will fail. If you don't work on your relationships, it will fail. If you can't find 90 minutes a week for the next 6 weeks, then there's no chance, zero chance that you will get to where you want to be with your wealth over the next 10 years. If something's important to you, you make the time. My father taught me, where there's a will, there's a way. And if you have the will for you and your family to have the wealth, to be protected, to be set up for financial freedom, and to become a global citizen, then you will find a way to be able to invest that 90 minutes. And for those of you that are time poor, I want to give you a gift. Do you know that if you are struggling with time, then this gift is perfect for you? Because I know that pretty much I've been watching, there are so many people that have joined Wealth Going Global, and well done to all of you. And remember, there's only 100 spots. So I hope that there's still enough spots available for you. And for those that have signed up, I have a gift for you. Because what is important and what I find is that most people that do Wealth Going Global over the 6 weeks, they want to immerse themselves in our Wealth Weekend. We have a 3-day Wealth Weekend where we bring together like-minded investors and we get in a room live in person with our family office. Now, this was the one that we did in March in Stellenbosch in 2024. We did this one in August in the Cradle of Humankind. This, by the way, this guy here was teaching people about generational wealth. He helps the wealthiest families in America and in India, like $250,000 per family. And he was teaching people at our Wealth Weekend how to do it. Garth was teaching people about the 6 mega trends. There's nothing more powerful than getting in the room and immersing yourself for 3 days in this process. And this was our one in Knysna, South Africa in March this year. And my gift to you, for those of you that have invested in Wealth Going Global, and I'm sure it's basically everyone who's online tonight, because it's literally a no-brainer, I'm going to give you the $497 that you've invested back so that you can put it towards joining us at the Wealth Weekend, because I know that it's the single best way to help you get results. Why attend the Wealth Weekend? Well, it's immersion with the family office and global investment experts. It's the next level of learning and strategy. It's peer-to-peer mastermind power. It's a global perspective with local advantage. It's emotional and psychological wealth mastery. You know, again, I know with Robin Banks, everything's about mind power. You need to have the right mental frameworks to be able to be a good investor. It's tangible outcomes, not theory. And it's exclusive invite-only experience. We normally only allow this for our mastermind members, but we're making a special exception here to allow the Wealth Going Global community to join us at the family office. And it's where luxury meets legacy. So if you're interested, then you should come along to the Wealth Weekend. The only way to join the Wealth Weekend is to join Wealth Going Global. And we will gift you the investment that you've made in Wealth Going Global as part of a contribution towards the Wealth Weekend. Come and immerse yourself with the family office, with other top 1%ers, so that you too can truly experience it in real life. And if you can't make it in person, there is an online solution. You can join us online. And if these dates don't work for you, you can come in March next year. I want to share with you a lady. Now, she's a director of Absa Bank, and Absa Bank's one of the biggest banks in the world. Now, a bank is someone that looks after people's money. But Jeanette was frustrated with her own money. And so she's very, very time poor, and she just didn't have enough time to be able to look after her own wealth. And so she joined the program, and this is what she had to say about how it impacted her life, her family, and her wealth.
What I love about it is that it helps me to be active. I'm not just putting in my money and then going away. I'm growing, it's investing in myself, but it's also given me an opportunity to even involve my family as well. You know, this notion of building generational wealth, it may be far-fetched for other people, but the mastermind has given me the opportunity to really start looking at how I built generational wealth, and I love that. And I can see how I'm integrating, you know, the stuff that I'm doing and the passion I have for my corporate executive role, which I don't have to drop, but my wealth is also growing, and I'm also learning and continuing to invest.
My wish for all of you is generational wealth, not just for you, but for your family, for your children, and for your children's children. And just like Jeanette, then you can literally make that a reality. I mean, this is literally a director of a bank, and that's the impact that it's had in her life. And my invitation for you is join Wealth Going Global. Put in WGG. If it resonates with you, if you'd like to get the same access to the same information as a director of one of the biggest banks in Africa, then just type in WGG. And the last one is, I'm too old. And you know what's interesting? We've had people in their 70s. The oldest person was 85 years old. There's no such thing as too old. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And so I know you wanted to know this 20 years ago. I know you wish you had acted 20 years ago and that you had a plan, because by now you'd be truly financially free. You'd be a global citizen. But the next best time is today. And what is this all about? It's all about practical application. That's why we do one module a week, so that people can practically implement, and you're going to walk away. Learning is an active process, and learn by doing. Only knowledge that is used to stick in your mind. We want you to get results. And so each and every week, there's a small practical application so that you can learn while doing. This is not theory. It's practice, it's action, and its results. And that's why you walk away with your own personalized roadmap and your own investor strategy sheet that helps you know what are the top 5 countries, what are the top 5 currencies, what are the top 15 assets that you can invest in. And ultimately, you got an investor strategy sheet all on one page. So I started off this evening and I told you that the number one fear that business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals have is, what if I lose what I've worked so hard for? If that is a fear of yours, then Wealth Going Global is your transformation. It starts here and it starts tonight. It isn't a course. It's a personalized roadmap, which is going to help you protect your wealth, diversify globally, grow sustainably, and gain confidence and peace of mind. And our invitation is to join the Wealth Going Global family. I've got one final testimonial. And this lady joined, her name was Alina. And she basically said to me, Scott, I don't have the time. And so I said to her, fine. One of our team members, Alex, sat with her and said, listen, if you keep doing what you've always done, the chances of getting results that are different are impossible. In fact, Einstein calls it the definition of insanity. And so she did the course, and this was what a difference it made in her life. And again, type WGG in the chat room if this is what you want in your life.
Yeah, I think for me, investing overseas has always been a bit of pie in the sky. I never felt that I would ever be confident enough to do it because, I always want to know and understand exactly what I do before I get involved in any venture. So, so this course really opened things up for me and made me believe that it's really a possibility for me. Yeah, Scott, I must be honest, in the beginning, it was quite daunting to think that I had to block out 3 hours a week to attend the webinars. But in the end, it worked out perfectly. And also, I think just the way you and Shane organized the information. So if you did miss something, it was quite easy to listen to the recording and go back to the slides. And in fact, as you know, after about the third or the fourth webinar, I felt a bit lost and overwhelmed, and I took a day and a half out and I actually re-listened to all the material, which really brought a lot of the concepts home for me, So yeah, I think just it doesn't matter how busy you are, as long as you can make some time in your schedule, the information is there, it's well organized, and it's easy to access at any time.
Brilliant.
I just want to say to people who are on the fence right now, there's no time like the present. A lot of us, and I think you told the story as well, that sometimes you wish you'd started 10 years ago. So I just want to say to people who are on the fence, the time is now, just go for it. Yeah, I must admit, the wealth calculator was a bit depressing when I first did the calculations, because it's a reality check that's necessary, to understand that if you want to get to where you want to go, that this is what you have to do, and you have to start today. And so I think it's really valuable for having a wealth planner to know what you need to do from tomorrow onwards. And I'm really excited, and I can't wait for the deals coming on the platform. So I'm looking out for those and excited to begin. Absolutely. And can highly recommend. So go for it, guys.
So Joyce, I'm finishing up now, and the team will make sure that they send the bonuses to you. So no problem in terms of that.
Yeah.
That's the formula. If you want to invest like the top 1%, countries, currencies, assets, partners, and time, and it's all about the passive income. If you want to achieve anything in your life, wealth, time management, anything, you need to repeat it over and over again, because your skills will go up, then they'll fall down, they'll plateau, and the only way to do it is to repeat over and over again. And Wealth Going Global has been designed so that you can work on countries, currencies, assets, partners, time and time management, mindset and strategic thinking, execution and accountability, and investing and review. That's the program. It's six wealth modules plus the bonuses, and it starts on the 22nd of July, and it'll all be recorded in terms of the sessions. And what happens after you join, you get instant access to onboarding videos, calendar invites for the live sessions, tools and calculators are unlocked, and private group invite. And so, thank you very much for your time tonight. As I said, you're getting $15,000 of value, literally for $497. And I want to finish with a story about Alex Hormozi. So Alex is an entrepreneur in America. He's one of the more successful entrepreneurs in America at the moment. And at 25, he was broke. And by 31, he was earning over $100 million. And people used to ask him, how did you move so quickly? And he said, I know how to buy time. And the follow-up question was, how do you buy time? And he said, by buying the time that other people took to make the mistakes that taught them the lessons. So my question to you is, if you keep doing what you've been doing, will you be there in 3 years? If you don't make a change now, how much is that going to cost you? But if you say yes tonight, imagine how different your life will look. The passive income streams, the global freedom, less financial stress, a clear plan, and confidence that you're building wealth like the top 1%. This is not just about money. It's about freedom, control, peace of mind. And it starts with one decision tonight. Wealth Going Global is literally your roadmap to move from where the 99% are here to the top 1%. And my invitation and my journey tonight, my wish for you is to move from the 99% who are uncertain, anxious, lacking diversification, no passive income, and financially stuck, to the top 1% that are diversified, passive income, financial freedom, and a global citizen. Thank you very much for your time. It's always an honor and a privilege to share the purpose of my life, which is to allow everyone to invest like the top 1%. If there's any questions, I'll happily answer them now. Let me just see if there's anything that I haven't answered. I did answer a few of them privately. Greg, thank you for your comment. I'll take it on board. I really appreciate it. In terms of it, do you have to complete the course before starting to invest globally? No. We'll show you how you can get started straight away. Do we have access to the platform? Yes. What if I've just committed to a new marketing business and local successful collaborative team and focus is somewhere else? Ilza, I think what's important here is that what I learned is that there's never a good time. And as my father taught me, where there's a will, there's a way. And, you know, there'll always be a reason, always be an excuse not to do something. But I find that other than your health, your wealth is the most important thing. And probably your health and your relationships, maybe. But after your health and your relationships, your wealth is your next most important thing. And how you make your money work for you is going to be a big determinant based on your freedom and your happiness going forward. And so I suppose the question is, how long have you delayed it for already? And how much longer are you going to keep delaying it for? Joyce, I'm signing up, but I have an appointment in 5 minutes. We'll make sure, Joyce, that we send you all the bonuses. What is a family office? Is that South African? No, family offices are all over the world. There's about 7,000 family offices all over the world, and they look after the wealth of the 580,000 wealthiest people in the world. So family offices look after the wealthiest people in the world. And what we've done is democratize access to a family office so that you truly can invest like the top 1%. And if you like that, literally join us in Wealth Going Global, and we'll help you go on the journey in terms of that process. Thank you for all the kind words. I really appreciate it. In terms of the process, welcome aboard to all of the people. There's so many people that are signing up, which is fantastic. I really look forward to going on the journey with you in terms of that process. Let me just see if there's any other questions. Okay, so yeah, Nikita reached out to Joyce and said one of our team members will reach out. I'm trying to organize the funds, Fiona. Once this webinar is up, am I still able to log on? Yes, you just go to the link. And yeah, I'm feeling very generous because tomorrow is actually Mandela Day. So you can see Mandela. Which side is he on? There he is, Mandela Day. And so we will definitely be, doing something for Mandela Day. And at a start, what I'll do is, I'm going to give the bonuses to people that sign up tonight. I remind you, coming to the program next Saturday morning, where you can move into the investor mindset, plus all my notes from that investor summit. But I'll also do something nice tomorrow for Mandela Day, because Mandela said, money won't create success, the freedom to make it will. And Wealth Going Global is all about that freedom. So hopefully we are truly living up to Nelson Mandela and his legacy with what we are trying to do here. So Santi, all good if my wife and myself join? Yes, please do. In fact, it works really well if you come in a partnership, because then you're aligned in terms of the process. So please bring a partner along. It makes it much, much better in terms of the process, in terms of you getting the results. So yeah, can you do it faster than 6 weeks? Yes. So Rainier, you can. We've actually got a program. We've got courses to help you, and our team can actually sit down with you. So if you really are an A-type personality and you've got no patience like me, then I can help you with that process. In fact, what I'd suggest, I will get one of my team members to reach out to you, Rainier, and help you with regards to how you could do that. Sonia, I'm getting to the do not close this window, have entered card details, but it's been some time now. What's happening? Sonia, I'll just take a screenshot quickly. And if for any reason you got a problem, I'll make sure that the team reaches out to you and helps you with that in terms of the process. So don't worry. I see that you're here tonight. I know you and I have been on a long journey together, and we'll make sure that we get you joining us. Well done to all the people that are joining. Marianne, you need a partner. Who will join? I'm in Mossel Bay. Yeah, Marianne, I mean, you don't need to be physically next to the person, because obviously it's an online program. We've got people all over the world. Funnily enough, you're in Mossel Bay. I'm in Knysna. I'm just down the road from you in Knysna in terms of that. Rainier, I mean, are the videos recorded, and can I go through the program at my own pace? So I'm going to be doing it live, Rainier, because I'm getting you updated information. I do have recorded videos, but actually this program, I'm going to be doing it live, and it will be recorded as well. So you can watch it and you'll have lifetime access to the recordings. So you can go through it at your own pace. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. And then there'll also be live coaching, which will also be recorded. So this is a really unique experience to come on a 6-week journey with me live, and to be able to literally tap and get as much information out of my brain as you possibly can. Karina, do you need a specific amount to invest? No, you can literally get started from $10. So, you know, our whole philosophy here is to democratize access to investing like the top 1%. And it all starts with giving you access to the right information and the right partners. And that's what Wealth Going Global is all about. And when you start investing, you can literally get started from $10. Is there another live program this year? No, Andy. I only do this. In fact, the last time I did this was 2 years ago. So I update it once every 2 years with the latest countries, currencies, etc. So yeah, there'll be obviously a recording. But if you want to do it live with me and you want to come on the coaching and live with me, now's the time. And I know that often the people have things in their lives, but I found certainly in my life, I mean, that investor summit, Robert invited me less than a month. He didn't even give me, it was 3 weeks notice. And it was a tumultuous thing. It was like 2 weeks out of business and $10,000 that I had to invest. And there were a lot of problems, both personally and in business. And I sat down with the team. I sat down with my coaches. It was a really difficult decision to make, but I eventually made the decision to go because, you know, even though there were a lot of obstacles in my way, I'm a big believer in where there's a will, there's a way. And I did it. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. It literally was unbelievable. And my strong advice is, you know, when something speaks to you, just find a way. Are there specific hours? So it's live. So yes, Rainier, I do it at lunchtime, 12 o'clock South African time on a Tuesday. So that's 11 a.m. UK time. That allows people in America and Canada to be able to join us. And it also allows people in Australia. But everything's recorded. So if you're at work and you need to watch the recording, then no problem. And you've obviously got the live sessions, the live groups to be able to ask questions as well. So we've taken into account time zones, we've taken into account business hours, and so that we can truly deliver. I mean, I've done this already many times, so I know what works and I know how to help you get results. Is your course at night or in the daytime? Fiona, I don't know what time zone you're in, so I can't answer that, but hopefully I've answered it for you. But either way, it's recorded and you'll be able to get access to it and come on this journey with us. Marianne, nice. So perfect. Look forward to seeing you on the program with us, Marianne. Lee said, how do I have someone sharing in a different location? We'll help you figure that out, Lee. So if you've got a partner that lives in a different location or a friend, then you just let us know, and we'll basically include them. We'll give access to it for them. It reminds me of a story. I was in my early 20s. I love rugby, and I was going to a Springbok rugby game against Ireland, and my mate phoned me up and said, "Listen, you need to come this Saturday to this property course." And I was like, "I can't. I'm going to the rugby." And he said, "No, you've got to come to this property course." And he convinced me to go to this property course. And I mean, for me to miss a rugby game is like massive in my life. I went to the property course, and I actually found out that what happened was it was one of these 2-for-1s, bring a friend type thing. So he got me to pay half. Anyway, I'm so grateful I missed the rugby that day, because what I learned about property in my early 20s was phenomenal, about how you build income and how you manage risk. And it all started by, my friend wanting to save some money and getting me to come along. So, where you think out the box, this is what it's about, being resourceful. Isaac, is this a one-time payment? Actually, you can go to the platform and you can click on it. You can sign up, and you'll actually see when you go to the payment options, you do have the ability if you want to make a part payment as well. Again, we want to democratize access. We want to remove all the obstacles for you, because truly, I believe this is a no-brainer. And, our passion and our purpose is to help you invest like the top 1%. And to enable that, it's why we've tried to remove all the barriers to entry. Some people say to me, "Why don't you just do it for free?" I've done it for free. I've been to Robin Banks's investor summits. I've stood on the stage, and I've literally, to hundreds of people, and I've handed out $100. I've literally handed out $100 vouchers with Robin on stage. And do you know what's interesting? Do you know how many people took advantage of the $100 I gave them? Take a guess. Less than 1% of people actually took that $100 and cashed it in. And what I learned is that I don't have the time or the energy to waste on people that have excuses. I want to help action takers. And when people pay, they pay attention. So even though it's not a lot of money, it's enough money for you to take this seriously, to take your life seriously, to take your wealth seriously, and to get results. Some of the bonuses are mentioned. Will few get them? Some of the bonuses are mentioned. Will few get them? Will we get them? Yes. So if you sign up tonight, Rainier, you'll get all the bonuses. Everything's included. Everything I've spoken about tonight is included in Wealth Going Global, except for the Wealth Weekend. You'll get a gift. So your $497 will be gifted to you as a voucher towards the Wealth Weekend. But if you choose to come to the Wealth Weekend, that is separate. But everything else is included. Sonia, thank you for a great session. Scott, just to let you know where I can send the screenshot to. Don't worry, Sonia, I've taken a screenshot for you. And Kelly, if you wouldn't mind just making a note so that we can reach out to Sonia with the team and help her. Andy said, the timing doesn't work for me. I have 3 other programs. The business is a startup. What time in MZ? MZ is Mauritius, I think. Just help me there with MZ. I just want to make sure I'm getting that right. So interested, is the 2-for-1 as on the bonuses? Yes, the 2-for-1 will get the bonuses. Thanks. Check out my WhatsApp, please. Will do. Where's the Wealth Weekend? It's in Knysna in South Africa. So it's the top holiday destination in South Africa. It's a very beautiful location. And so what we do is we marry together getting access to the best information with the family office and the top 1%, but we also do it in a place that is luxurious and you can have a lot of fun. All done on the do not close the page. Okay, cool, Radio, fantastic, well done. Andy, you're in New Zealand. Perfect, so New Zealand works perfectly for you because we're doing it at lunchtime. It's 11 o'clock UK time, which actually we've done it so that people in Australia and New Zealand can participate. Mozambique is, I'm not sure, it's 2 or 3 hours ahead, I think, of South Africa. I'm not sure exactly, but you would certainly be able to participate, based on the time zones. Where in South Africa? I assume you mean the Wealth Weekend. That's in Knysna, South Africa, which is in the Garden Route. But again, remembering that Wealth Going Global is online, no matter where you are in the world, everyone can participate. And even if you have a time zone, like Andy, it's midnight here, it is recorded. So you can also do it and use it to fit in with your recording. So to help you. Obviously tonight, it's it's the next day for you in terms of that process. Okay. Cost for the weekend. What I'd suggest, Giselle, is join the Wealth Going Global, and then you'll see all about it, because it's only exclusive for people that have joined the Wealth Going Global in terms of that process. But yeah, it's one of the greatest gifts that I've been given in my life, is to be part of these wealth weekends and to be around. And the date, Sonia, is the 9th to the 13th. So it's a Tuesday afternoon. You arrive the morning of the 9th. We allow people time to fly in on the morning of the 9th. We start the afternoon of the 9th, and then we've got a lovely event on the night of the 9th. And then we've got a work day on the Wednesday, which is the 10th, and the Thursday, which is the 11th. And then on the Friday, we have a fun day where we just do fun activities, and then everyone goes home on Saturday morning. Ilza, thank you. I appreciate it. I'd like to first speak to the team. Perfect, Ilza, no problem. Happy to chat to the team. They can reach out to you on a book one-to-one. So yeah, if the team could basically just, I've screenshotted for Ilza, but yeah, I would recommend chatting to one of the team members, and they'll help you make the right decision for yourself. Okay, and Nikita, thanks very much for following up with Augustinus with your email. Perfect. Okay, everyone. Well, that is a lot of information. I understand, and I thank you so much for all of your time. I know that you've given up, close on 2.5 hours of your life. This is something that I know is going to make a dramatic impact in your life. I know that because it's helped hundreds of other people, and most of the people that you've seen, just the testimonials and everything else, all of them started by making a decision in terms of taking action. And I missed the month for the live event, Karina. It's in September in terms of that process. But my strong invitation to all of you is this little saying. There's an African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And, I remind you that the 99% are all trying to do it themselves. And the top 1%, they do it together. And as Nelson Mandela said, literally on the eve of Mandela Day, money won't create success. The freedom to make it will. It's an honor and a privilege to share with you Wealth Going Global, so that we too can give you that freedom. And so on behalf of Robin, Paul, Simon, and all of our other partners, I deeply appreciate working with you, working with your community, and being able to share with you how you too can have the freedom to be part of the top 1%, to be able to protect your wealth, to be able to diversify, to be able to have a roadmap, and most importantly, to be able to partner and invest with the top 1% so that you can get the same results as the top 1%. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll stay on if there's any other questions, but for those of you that need to bounce, I truly understand. And I look forward to seeing you in Wealth Going Global, and most importantly, you getting a plan and you getting those results. Good night.